council made sure the chairs just fine. And they kick themselves. And we're the same way. It's just so.
I mean, that, you can get away with that, now you push it away.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Just the last one.
All right.
We see it here.
Yeah, because I was going to know if I was.
Chuck.
Hello.
That's just me. You know, because is that right?
Is that a newer model?
I'm not sure.
We have a lot.
But, so we just go and just have.
When you're coming
Pride.
yeah, it comes a little bit of ways, huh?
It's good, you know, and now I know you were saying about it's different than corporate work because take the money, wrong side. I understand that. I'm very much 6 times a day. Or take I got a car.
I sent a card.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Chuck, what did you say his last name? His last name was? Oh,
Knapp.
Knapp.
Years to
Knapp.
K-N-A-T-T.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm one of the residents.
Oh.
Start. You know how old he was, Chuck?
77, 7 paper.
Yeah, I think he was a little younger than she was.
Yeah.
Than she is.
He was a baby, I think.
Oh, was he?
Theoretically, if you just hit the last year, you should work, I tested it, and see. It gave me a big error, but the first 4 times.
So she'll never get the 30. She'll
That's what I can tell you.
Or whatever. Not quite, but she'll never get the 35. So I say it was just a little extra.
Is this your writing?
But you get like 65, they don't care.
No, that's good.
That's yours.
You
You're
can
right.
do commercial, you talk about that after. I just don't know all of it.
Then they just went on the market. John?
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
Mustard.
Ball director, Larry Tripp. We got everybody's in the house. I like early above schedule. I got these exact same shoes, and I lost them.
Stays on shores.
I'm starting to think of them. I might have to get them from you. Justin John. How are you, sir?
Still worried.
We're on the sales.
So, yeah.
That.
The shrine.
Kathy. She could be getting credit at school. So where's the paper?
We're gonna go against ours. Sure.
It's 5 o'clock sharp.
5 o'clock something? All right. Getting ready.
We are ready.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the special council meeting Thursday, March 21st, 2019, 5 p.m. Nora, will you please call the roll?
Peters,
Here.
Folds,
Here.
Soretta,
Here.
Revolt,
Here.
Kiesling. Here. And Fontaine.
Here. Thank you. Motion to excuse member Warren.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, before we get to recognition of visitors, this is a special council meeting. We are only allowed to discuss the items on the agenda. I'm going to ask that any comments be specific to these agenda items. If not, you have the second and fourth Monday of every month. So with that being said, if you wish to address council regarding this agenda, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Larry Tripp, 1127 East Maple, North Canton. Message spontaneous revolt, along with Chairwoman Kiesling. What has this council been discussing the better part of the past 7 months? Yes, Main Street Business District, or Main Street Business, or whatever it's called. Supposedly a tool to drive new business into North Canton along Main Street, but still unfinished after 7 months. So what does the city do?
Mr. Tripp, this is not on the agenda tonight. Main Street Business District is not on the agenda.
No, but the bottom part, it ties into the last item.
Is there anything you wish to speak about?
It ties into the last item.
Make it quick. Thank you, Mr. Tripp. Anyone else wishing to discuss the items that are on this agenda? Chuck?
Chuck Osborne, 307 Beverly Street, Southeast North Canton, Ohio. Ordinance 21, 2019. Tax abatement for 331 Harmon Street. A brand new house that was built in the city. The only one in my lifetime up here, nearly 20 years, that got a tax abatement for 15 years. Nobody knows how it was given. This council has, I guess, is not in tune enough with what's going on. They weren't even aware of it. And then when it was brought to this housing council, they just let it fly. This family, and I have nothing against about the individual, it's a young family. They can come to this city, have children, enroll them in school. They can go through 12 years of education in our school system and have never contributed to the support of the schools. I think over the lifetime of this abatement is $30,000. And we get to the next one. We went round and around with this a year or so ago, a 40-unit apartment complex. Mr. Held claims he was never aware of the abatement that his highly praised economic development director gave, as well as this whole council. $1 million tax abatement. And by the way, go back to Harmon Street. My whole lifespan up here in town, I don't know of any new home that's built that's got a tax abatement. This is one and only. LMD Realty. I believe that's Mr. D. Hoff. Why are we giving multi-million-dollar developers tax abatements? Insight Realty. And Mr. Sorrell, I'd like to give you a little pat on the back here. You tried to curtail this, at least the amount of abatement. And like you stated at the time, half of their clientele has already comes from here in North Canton. Why none of your peers joined in with the same kind of concern, but you gave them an abatement. I bet you they won't give you an abatement on your bill if you go there for an eye test or treatment. The last one, the city's moved to the Civic Center, the council. This should have come before this public body, and they should have addressed the pros and cons of this. This just came out of nowhere. Mr. Diorio's plan, and I commend him for the problems he has observed, having a lot of the city staff remotely located and not knowing whether they're given 100% of their workday to the citizens of the city or not. And word is they have not for years. And I think in part that's why the sudden mysterious disappearance of our former city engineer. He got out of Dodge before he realized weight was coming down on him. And I won't say more than that. But you had given him a rehire, you had given him raises. What more could anybody want who's working for a living? And then suddenly he resigns, quietly. I think people know up here what's happened. But again, so I don't know how any of y'all can feel good about what you do up here, feel like you're serving your constituents, which I doubt any of you can spell it because you're certainly not representing them. You greet us every time we come in here with disdain, hostility, vindictiveness. And as I said Monday night, we're just reflecting back how we're being treated out here. To get back to the relocating to the Civic Center, Mr. Soretta asked who's going to be setting up all the equipment for us. And Mr. Dior responded, our staff will. And then he also added, we know you meet on Monday nights.
Mr. Osborne, you've reached your 5-minute time limit.
Has anybody realized that planning and zoning also will need this set up?
Thank you, Mr. Osborne.
You're going to be setting this up multiple
I
times,
appreciate the comments.
abusing and beating up this equipment.
You may take your seat now. Thank you, sir.
That was a quick 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Is your clock
Thank you,
fast?
sir. Thank you.
It's a terrible move.
Please take your seat.
You ought to be building another
Please take
floor
your
on this
seat.
building.
Thank you, Mr. Osborne. I appreciate the comments. Moving on to new
That's the
business.
third time we have moved
Mr.
engineering.
Osborne, take your seat now.
That's the third time
Take
we've
your
moved
seat.
engineering. Very gently, very nice way to handle this.
Moving on to new business. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only, first reading ordinance 21-19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
And I believe Mr. Revolt for these first four had suggested that in the section where we have the Ohio Development Service Agency, that he recommends that it read development services. And so for that, actually, for all four of those, I believe that he would have a better term of art for what we're describing as having served there in that capacity. It's not a substantive changes. We're still, of course, sending it to the proper authority, but the term of art that he had recommended was, instead of Ohio Development Service Agency, is Development Services, and we put that both in our second whereas, and then in section 2, we'll call it the Ohio Department, we'll call it the Development Services Agency, and then in section 3, we're going to do that on, it's actually exactly the same on all four. So what I would be reading is only the first paragraph. It doesn't have that section, but understand that for all of the next four that we're going to have, we're going to make those changes. Mr. Revolt has it there, and we have it in the ordinance for the mayor, and if you'll permit me, I'll go ahead and read the ordinance.
So we're calling them Ohio Development Services? Is that what we're going to say?
Yes. Back in, I believe, 2011 or 2012, when Jobs Ohio was created, and the economic development functions moved from development to Jobs Ohio. The remaining organization was renamed Ohio Development Services Agency. The Ohio Department of development as the legal entity disappeared. So what these suggestions or corrections do are just simply align our language to the existing structure. Development Services Agency.
So it's Ohio Development Services?
Services
Is dropping the agency.
Well, it's ODSA.
Isn't that what it says?
You must have a new copy. The copy that came through Monday didn't have it that way.
We
Oh.
So
corrected
you
it.
probably don't get it.
All right,
Yeah,
no wonder I was.
Correct the copywriter.
yeah, sorry. We have not corrected, you all have it corrected.
I apologize. Stacy and Tim got the email at about 3:30 this afternoon.
And
Yeah, we were able to quickly,
Yeah, we
because
just cleaned up. It's a technical
Appreciate you
correction.
catching it, yeah, I would have no
It's a
idea.
technical
So
correction.
that's
for
good.
the legislation before the mayor, and so that the copies that you would have provided, we're going to read it as, and then because it's slightly different, again, non-substantive of what you had in committee. And it won't be contained in this opening paragraph, but following our rules, this is a summary, and I'll go ahead and it reads as follows. An ordinance continuing the community reinvestment area tax incentive agreement between the city of North Canton and 331 Harmon Street Southwest and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you, Chairman Keith.
Yes, it is the address, it's the new home that was built back in 2006. It's a 15-year, 100% abatement. I motion we adopt as we have all other years, but Pat has a question or a comment. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, if you don't mind, I would just like to make sure it's clear for the record that the timing of us having to pass this and to get it done, the Ohio Development Services, once these agreements back, approved by City Council by March 31st, that's their deadline. We fail to meet it, we get fined every month that we don't comply. We do not set the date that the Tax Incentive Review Council meets, as done by the county commissioners. Their discretion, they do this all over the county for all their jurisdictions. On the day they happened to set this, before they arrived at our offices, they had already started at the City of Alliance and did theirs, the City of Louisville did theirs, and then showed up here in North Canton to do ours on that date. So when we get notice of that, we gear everything that we do administratively to have everything ready so that not only the CRA Housing Council, which needs to meet before the TURB in order to include the materials in for the TURB then meets and provides a recommendation to the council. The council then needs to act and act in this way. It's not something, the design or fault of the administration. This is circumstances beyond our control. We're being dictated to what the terms of engagement are, and we're just doing our best to meet them, and we have done that.
And I appreciate you bringing that up on Monday, or
Well,
I wouldn't have known. So.
This is what, we were talking about this today, that I get frustrated because like, these are renewals every year. And so I said, why are we having a special meeting? Why can't we just do it in a regular meeting? And then he proceeded to explain that exact scenario, which now makes super sense. That they wait till the last minute, they jam it on our schedule, so we don't get fined $500 a month, right? So thanks for explaining that, so we all know that we're on top of it. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a motion
Yep.
to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then finally, a motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Motion and a second to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 22-19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
Recall that this will have the same amendment as the 21-2019, and it reads as follows. An ordinance continuing the Community Reinvestment Area Tax Incentive Agreement between the City of North Canton and 1303-1305 North Main Street and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you. Chairman Keith.
Yes, this is the property up on North Main. It's known as 12-year, $100,000 abate, for 100% abatement. It's been approved in the years past. I motion we accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have a motion and a second to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 23-19.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
An ordinance continuing the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement between the City of North Canton and LMD Realty LLC for the real property located at 825 South Main Street and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you, Chairwoman Keesley.
Yes, this is one of our commercial properties. It is a 50% 12-year abatement. I motion we adopt. It was moved by the clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings.
So
So,
moved.
second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 24-19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
An ordinance continuing the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement between the City of North Canton and Insight Realty LLC for the real property located at 1605 Portage Street Northwest and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Chairman Keezy.
Yes, this is another commercial property. It is a 15-year, 50% abatement. It was also approved by the committee. I motion we adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, may I have a motion and a second, excuse me, to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 25-19.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
An ordinance authorizing the City of North Canton to adopt a general fund balance policy.
Thank you, Chairman Ware has asked, Laura, do you have anything further to add?
No, I think we covered this earlier this week. It's just a policy to put a reserve in place.
It is a widely recognized managing tool. Correct?
That's correct. Recognized by debt rating agencies as well as Government Finance Officers Association nationally.
Very good.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 26-19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jim?
An ordinance authorizing the use of a then and now certificate for park expansion expenses and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you, Laura. Quick synopsis before we go.
Sure, as we stated, this is some expenses that were undertaken prior to getting a purchase order, so in order to correct that, we use a then and now certificate after the fact.
Okay, motion we adopt.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 27-19.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
An ordinance appropriating funds from the unappropriated resources of the general fund to the general government professional services account for the purpose of moving the city's engineering department from the Civic Center to City Hall and moving the city council's chambers to the Civic Center, together with upgrading the Civic Center's audiovisual equipment for city council and other city boards, commissions, and rentals for meeting services.
Okay, and Chairman, I'll make a couple quick comments. Is Is it safe to assume, Director DiOrio, that this wasn't just thrown together at the last minute?
Yes, sir, this has been a project that's been underway for the last 24 months. It was one of the first projects that we started on. Consolidating everything back to here, that was the purpose of the drive-up lane out front. The vision towards one-stop shopping for North Canton residents.
And since you are the direct supervisor of all those services, you have them all under one roof under your supervision, I think would behoove.
It's a huge management tool. I mean, I just can't tell you every day the issues that come up that arise because we are not on site.
It wasn't taken lightly. Let the record reflect that. Darrell?
You know, when you look at this square footage, this is actually very expensive real estate. We have 6 meetings a month in this space, 4 from council, 1 from the planning commission, 1 from zoning board of appeals, in the evenings. During the day, the chamber's empty. I think many of the issues, this is my own personal view, many of the issues and challenges that we face, including some of those that were referenced tonight by Mr. Osborne, may stem from the fact that we placed our personnel in satellite offices beyond supervision. So, would you rather have better government concentrated in this space or continue to operate the fashion we have in the past? And I would argue that it makes better sense to have our team here where they can be managed and supervised, as opposed to having them some other in another campus.
Hard to argue that.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, it's from my own personal view. I think some of the issues that we've discussed and grappled with as a council, you've grappled with the council, stem from the fact that we didn't have personnel in the building. Whereabouts and activities unknown. And this will address that. So in a roundabout way, we're coming back to what Mr. Osborne has raised earlier. And those matters, frankly, are settled. They were settled by the previous council. They're done. Whether you agree or disagree, they're done.
Mayor? You know, as we're looking at the consolidation, one other point to keep in mind too, because, you know, we've got, presently we've got really good employees in place. So it really wasn't exclusively, you know, a supervisory issue, but that's a positive. But also there's synergy. When you have somebody who is, you know, right next to you, you know, just 20 feet away, and you've got to get something accomplished, it makes it a lot more efficient than calling them, leaving them a message, driving down there in the car. So what the administrator has done, and also the finance director, is bringing everybody together, just like when we moved the council clerk and the law director all over on that side of the building and opened up more room for the permits. It's just amazing the exchange of information now. It's just, it moves the process along at a hyper speed. Even when you come in this evening, before the meeting, you know, you run into everybody, all at one location. Whereas in the past, you may never have run into them unless you went down to that office. So yeah, this has really, really transformed how the operation, how the city services move along. So it's a lot more efficient. Just bringing people together.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
No, good deal.
Motion we adopt.
First reading.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And